Shalom and welcome to Practical Spirituality here in the holy city of Jerusalem. We're on live with Aish Torah, aish.com, and here I am in Jerusalem in my dining room. Nach Laot. I see Ephraim's beautiful children there on the Zoom feed. Hi, kids. And any of my kids want to say hi? Come say hi, kids. Don't be shy. Shirley will say hi. Shirley, say hi. That's my youngest, Shirley. Rachel, you want to say hi? Miriam? No one wants to say hi? Okay, but Shirley has no problem saying hi. So we're going to learn today. Before we start learning, just want to share a few words about the virus and there are people still in varying levels of taking this seriously, and I just want to reiterate the importance of it, of how seriously we all have to be taking this. We really, no one, no matter what city you're in, should not be leaving unless you absolutely have to, and then keeping a 6-foot distance from people. You can look at it as protecting yourself, you can look at it as protecting others, but it really is showing a great sign of care to other people. One of the big aspects of this is our lack of understanding, and therefore the least we could do is get that we can curtail the amount of people that are impacted as by at least that kind of distance, so that we're not causing other people to potentially get it. It's heavy duty, and it's a serious. It's a serious situation, and so we all got to take it that way and keep that distance. Almost no one's been in my house. Our house is like a public thoroughfare normally, but no one's really been in here. Just saying hi to some people on Facebook. Hi, Rob, Michael. Michael said, "So what is up with this?" Hey, David Hirsch there. Very good. And Roddy Boritzer. Not sure if I know who that is. Hi, Roddy. Okay. So let's get busy. I was discussing earlier with Mustafa, who's on this live feed from London. We just had a meeting. And the two of us are involved in the human potential movement and bringing God into it, because the human potential movement is it's a cutting edge. There are cutting edge technologies in how to bring humanity to clarity and to be really real with ourselves and real with the way I like to say it is most people start the Torah. Most people read the Torah, the Bible. They start with the flood, which is the second section. But there's a reason why God started the entire book with Genesis, and one of the there's many reasons, but one of the main reasons is to let us all know that we're awesome. We're all created in the image of God, and you see, most people start with the flood, where it says a man's thoughts are just evil all day, and the evil thoughts that most people have are about themselves. Unfortunately, most people just think about it. When the average person looks in the mirror in the morning or in the evening, whenever they look in the mirror, they probably don't hear it, but they're berating themselves. They're literally berating themselves, which is speaking badly about themselves quite intensely. I once heard it one morning. It's fascinating. I woke up one morning, and I was in kind of that between waked, kind of lucid dream state, which is rare to get into. But I was in that kind of state. This is going back maybe 25 years plus, and I heard all this swearing and terrible cursing and cussing, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? And then I realized it's me talking about myself. And I would never even use such words, which means in my unconscious mind, apparently I would use such words, and bad words. And it was like, you no good, and all kinds of explicatives about myself. And then I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I was like, I'm saying this stuff about myself? I couldn't believe it. And it reminds me of when I first learned from Louise Hay, one of the great healers who passed away actually last year. Louise Hay wrote the book, her manifesto was You Can Heal Your Life. And she actually has subsequent books that actually go through the entire body, like literally every part of your body, and the voice you say, the voice of that part of the body of what you might be saying negatively that could be shutting down that particular organ or system in your body. I was doing mirror exercises, and you're actually supposed to say in front of a mirror, and I use this in the Possible Use seminars, that every participant from day one, twice a day, in the evening and the morning, have to look in the mirror and say, I love you, I really love you. Everyone has to say that, looking in a mirror, like literally at like this distance, right in the eyes, and to say to yourself, I love you, I really love you. And it's and then so the instructions are, now if you spit on the mirror or break the mirror or can't say it, or you said it but you didn't mean it, so then you have to say instead, I'm willing to learn to love you. I'm willing to learn to love you. And I'll tell you, I was I don't know how old I was at the time that I learned this. I was probably maybe 26, 7 years old. I had to say I'm willing to learn to love you for 6 weeks before I could get out my first I love you. I really love you. And don't forget, I was bubble wrapped in West LA with 2 loving parents where there was no crime. The closest pedophile was 9 zip codes away. By the way, I have no idea what 9 zip codes away is, but there were no pedophiles in my neighborhood. It was like if a teacher raised their hand to you, they'd give them the death sentence or something. It was like nothing ever happened to any of us. It was only good all the time. But for some reason, human beings start the Bible with the flood. And their thoughts are just bad all day about themselves most of the time. And it's a shame, and it's not right. And it's not by chance that the Bible starts with Adam being created in the image of God, to let all of us know that we have, just like God is infinite, we have infinite potential. Someone had vocal fry. That's okay, you don't have to speak, but you can at least have facial show up Chaya. You don't have to be just a box that says Chaya. It's very impersonal. You don't have to speak, okay? Oh, she will. Okay, as soon as you get your hair done or something, please join us. So, anyway, so loving ourselves is the very, very basic. It's the very basic level. And here's the thing: if you don't love yourself, you ain't gonna love nobody. And just like it says that it says love your neighbor as yourself, which of course everyone thinks is a Christian thing, but it's actually it's one of the commandments of the Torah. It's a direct line in the Torah. It says love your neighbor as yourself. Now it's pretty well said actually. Usually English translations are lousy, but this is a pretty good translation. That love your neighbor as yourself is in Hebrew it's ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, and you will love ve'ahavta, and you will love your neighbor kamocha, as yourself. And now listen carefully. What does that mean? It means only in as much as you love yourself will you love your neighbor. Only in as much as you love yourself will you have the capacity to love someone else. Now let me explain. Check this out. Check this out. Now, first of all, just to put it on this level of clarity, careful you're going to put all that, because that's all clean already. Okay. So my son's coming to sit next to me and eat his cup of noodles soup. Hey, young man. How you doing? You want to say hi again? There he is.
Hi.
Cutest kid in the world. So, I'm a little biased when I called him the cutest kid in the world, by the way. Now, I'm sure you're all thinking, frankly, I think he looks like a monster. No. They think he's cute, too. Everyone thinks you're cute, kid. Anyway, so let's discuss what it means to love your neighbor as yourself. Is only in as much as you love yourself can you love your neighbor. Because watch this. Let's say I'm meeting you for the first time. I've never met you before. And what that does is it automatically puts us on a scale. We're going to be on a scale, literally from 1 to 10, on am I smarter than you, dumber than you, thinner than you? Well, that'll be obvious without, that we'll see. But smarter, dumber, thinner, fatter, better looking, less good looking, wealthier, poorer, smarter we already did, more learned, less learned, more talented, less talented, more religious, less religious. It's going to be a whole scale when I meet you. And you'll notice, if you look at your life, you'll notice that anyone who's more than you at anything is a no-goodnik, and anyone who's less than you on any of those is like, look at them, they're nothing. So what happens is we automatically scale people. We can't help but scale people. That's one of the reasons why you never hear people's names. Like, you just met the person, they just said their name, and it's already gone over your head. You missed it. Why? Because of the anxiety of the interaction. Because I don't really know where I stand with this person. I have no idea where I stand with this person until I find out I'm safe. What does it mean I'm safe? That I'm above them on several levels of the scale. Till I find it. Sorry, hi, I'm not answering right now. I know you're sending questions or points, but I'm in the, as I give a point, I'll check it later. Till I find out where I am compared to them on this scale of 1 to 10, can I now open up and start to have a relationship? And maybe then I'd hear their names. So we should all actually repeat our names during a conversation. What we should do is lower ourselves in the eyes of others and then throw our name back in. Just kidding. Don't do that. So the thing is that we are constantly on a scale with other people. Now, I'd like to talk a little more on that, is that if you look at your relationships, you cannot love someone until you love yourself. What does that mean? That means that all your relationships are going to be using, the right term is not usury, because usury is usually for charging interest or something. That's usury. But it just works so much better than using, because using has a million meanings too. But all our relationships are usuries, so to speak, using others until we love ourselves. And what do I mean by that? You'll notice that when you're feeling this way, you call that one. When you're feeling that way, you call that one. Even your own parents, you use this parent for that, you use that parent for that. You call this sibling when you're feeling this way, you call that sibling when you're feeling that way. All your relationships are just there to build you up. And if all your relationships are there to build you up, that means that you're not built. If you're not built, that means that you're not loving yourself. Now, what's the hint to loving yourself? How do you get to loving yourself? So there's different ways of getting there, but we're going to go the real quick, fast, short, direct way of loving yourself. And that is that you have to hear the rest of the sentence. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. And then the last two words are Ani Hashem, which translates in English to I am God. which is like kind of God's stamp, that he stamps a couple sentences in the Torah. There's several sentences in the Torah that end with words, I am God, meaning, do this, I am God. Now, the commentaries say, whenever it says, I am God, the commentaries say, what it's ultimately saying is that I will pay you for this one. Meaning you got my stamp that you have this thing together. It's gonna work out for you because I will reward. I will reward. I imagine it also means I will punish. But that's the point. Now on this one, it's kind of strange to have I am God, because what's he rewarding you for? Loving yourself? Like, how can you get rewarded for loving yourself? So that's a little strange. So there's other commentaries that say when it says I am God, it's literally saying I, meaning you, are God. Well, how can you be God? And the answer is that the consciousness that you have, your pure consciousness, beyond all the narratives of your life and all your looks, that whole scale, your brains, your background, your knowledge base, all that scale stuff is garbage. What's true is that you're awesome. What's awesome about you is your soul. Your soul is what's awesome. And because your soul is what's awesome, well, guess what? Just like my soul's awesome, your soul's awesome. So my soul's awesome, your soul's awesome. And now, everybody on the live feed, stare straight into the camera for a moment. Just stare into the camera. Okay? Everyone look. And now realize, yeah, good. Just stare into the camera. Hold still and stare in. You're not staring. Everyone stare just your eyes into the camera. Everyone look at the eyes and realize, real eyes. Yeah, put your real eyes there. Everyone realize that the consciousness, just breathe and stare, the consciousness that's staring out of your own eyes has everything in common with all the other eyes you're looking at right now on the screen. Your consciousness. What difference is your consciousness and theirs? Meaning if you strip away man or woman, because there's some men and some women, strip that away. Okay, strip away all your history and your whole narrative that's been trapping you in your story of your life. Strip all that away. Strip away your sibling order. Strip away who your parents were in the community you're raised in. If you just look right now in the camera with your real eyes and your pure conscious self, what you'll realize is we all share this consciousness. It's in all of us. We're all one. And so, love your neighbor as yourself only in as much as you love yourself, which is this pure consciousness, the portion of God inside of me. That we share this. You and I are one. That's why I guess when you put the letter I, the capital I is one. Yeah? We are one. And me doing for you and you doing for me, and that reciprocal relationship. In fact, the word "and they gave" in Hebrew, and they gave. You got to put that close to the camera. I don't know what that book is. You just showed us, but "and they gave." It might be also opposite. Real close. Oh, the Holy Scriptures. Thank you. And the word in Hebrew, venatnu, and they gave, is spelled the same direction. Venatnu goes the same direction either way. Because the ve, which is again the I in Hebrew, it's the line, is at the beginning of the word is spelled ve, and at the end, u. But that's the same venatnu. It goes both directions. And when we give, when we connect, now here's the thing. Mustafa was just telling me that he lives in a community, it's like 4 streets long of a community with a bunch of different people living there. How many people would you say are living there, Mustafa? Is it thousands? Is it, what?
600.
Okay. He said that since this virus started, so they're all in a WhatsApp group now. Tell us.
Yeah, so it's Saturday morning we started a WhatsApp group and we shared it in the community, and now we have 150 volunteers, and there's about 250 people in the WhatsApp group. We've created 2 WhatsApp groups. One is for taking requests for help, anybody who needs help. And then there's 150 volunteers. We've got everybody's details in the spreadsheet. We're matching people, volunteers to requests for help. And people have just come together like never before. We're so connected, and the amazingness in everybody is coming forward. And yeah, we really feel well.
Wow. And I want to share with you all my son's bedtime story. I'm not going to go on with the story until we get there, because my son's waiting in suspense each night at the end of each story. And don't ask why I tell such scary stories to my son, but my son's bedtime story. You want to be with me for this part? So where we're at now is this family's been captured. They captured a family of 10. We just happen to be a family of 10 from Jerusalem. They captured the family of 10 from Jerusalem, brought them to this planet. And what's going on? Why did they bring this family of 10 from Jerusalem? Is they've decided that they're going to take over the earth. And they need humans to interview, to basically get the earth not to fight back, because the earth has nukes. And even though this planet has much better technology and could easily take over the earth, going into a nuclear disaster wouldn't be very helpful if the U.S. decided to, the world's armies decided to protect themselves with nukes. And so they wanted to interview this family to get into the minds and the hearts of the people who live there to see if they could somehow take over the earth without it being a nuclear disaster. So the family that they had basically kidnapped from the earth, the way they were going to convince them to help them isn't just a way to convince them. This is what literally happened. The Messianic era already entered that particular planet hundreds of years ago. And this planet had the technology to be able to spy on Earth, and saw that the Earth was spiraling out of control with disintegration. By the way, when I say disintegration, I don't mean like to disintegrate. I mean lack of integration, otherwise known as disintegration. Meaning governments are looking out for themselves as opposed to for the other countries. You have Europe waxing rich while Africans starve just right down there in the subcontinent. I mean, literally, you can go. I've surfed France, Portugal, and Spain. I was right above Morocco, where Africa begins. I mean, they're kissing. Only they're kissing with their fists, and they're not feeding each other. They're not helping each other. And the China. I mean, right before this happened, does anyone have any recollection of what happened between China and Trump just now? China and Trump just went like full head to head, and Trump basically said, "To hell with you guys." And there's been all kinds of infighting there. I mean, someone last night, he's a total conspiracy theorist, but he called me last night saying that notice how like the U.S. economy has gone to hell from one infection in China, and now China's on the rebound while the U.S. is not able to contain this at this point, and so. Who knows what's behind all this? Whatever. He was a conspiracy theorist. I imagine that China didn't plant this little bomb. But having spoken to him, and then I went straight from that call to my son's bedtime story. So the Messianic era had entered this planet already hundreds of years earlier. They've been spying on the earth, and what they were able to gather was it's gone beyond a critical threshold of coming together as one. That it's just going the opposite direction. Things are getting worse. They're not getting better. And the selfishness is at an all-time high. And as they call them, the 1%, since now we have the millennials and the Democratic Party of the U.S., that 1% at the top, the 1% at the top who's, they've got more money than like 90% of the rest of humanity. And meanwhile, like the biggest homeless crisis in the history of the U.S. is going on. While the biggest homeless crisis ever happening in the U.S. history, in L.A. alone, just in L.A. they have 100,000 homeless people this winter, with this virus now going along, and all they're getting is rain and rain and rain. It's like a cold winter for LA with 100,000 people on the streets, and and meanwhile there's just mansions and mansions and mansions everywhere, and there's no equality of wealth there, and anyway, so the planet realized that the Earth is just, if I can quote Michael McDonald of the Doobie Brothers, yeah, he said, "I've heard it said about the weight of the world's problems are enough to make the ball fall right through space." Hey, wait, Chaya, you did something crazy. I don't know what you did, but now half our screen is you. Chaya, can you undo that, please? Command Shift. What was it? Command Shift.
Hello?
Hi, yeah, you, hold on one sec. What was it? Command Shift, and then there was something else I forgot what I hit. No.
No, I have to disconnect my computer. It's on Facebook. I was trying to send an email.
Okay, that's cool. But can you undo whatever you did, because it just messed up our lives?
I don't know. I think there's someone in my computer. Hold on, give me a minute.
You're sharing your screen.
You shared your screen.
I see it. I see it. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Right
Okay, thank you. Anyway, I'll keep going. So, you're viewing Chaya's screen. View options. So I got it. Oh, everyone's back. Hey.
There we go. Sorry
Okay.
about that.
Okay, you can mute again if you want or not. So it sounds quiet wherever you are. Anyway, so he said, "I heard it said about the weight of the world's problems is enough to make the ball fall right through space." It's like the weight of our problems are like making the ball fall through space. So I sing professionally, so maybe I'll sing a little bit for you guys, even though I haven't warmed up my voice at all. But it's a beautiful song. By the way, everyone should look up that song because it's just so gorgeous. My computer's propped up on a drum here. That's cool. I didn't expect that.
Like making the camera shake.
It's making the camera shake. So it goes like this. I'll play a little drums here and there. So it goes like this. I heard it said about the weight of the world's problems is enough to make the ball fall right through space. It ain't even worth it to live with all that's going on. That's what they say. Well, let me just go down and say that I'm glad to be here. Oh, my voice is warmed up. It's from Mustafa. Here with all the same pain and lies everybody knows. Some may think they're born to be king. Well, maybe that's true. Ooh. Well, I think passing love around is all we were born to do. Let them build their kingdoms. Let them make their life. Let them pass their laws for this world to heed. Where you and I make life worth living. Right here in each other's right here in each other's arms. I'm here to love you. I got my keyboard right behind me. Gotta play the keyboard. Da-da-da-dum-dum-dum. No more loneliness. Da-da-dum-dum-dum-da-da-dum-dum-dum. No more emptiness. Da-da-dum-dum-dum-da-da-dum-dum. I'm here to love you. What's that? Huh? You can't find what?
The song.
Oh yeah, it's called it's Doobie Brothers. It's called Here to Love You, I think. Doobie Brothers, Here to Love You. Such a gorgeous song. The end of the song just goes, just let me go on loving you. Boom. Don't stop me now while I'm feeling this way. Just let me go on loving. I'm here to love you. Don't stop me now while I'm feeling this way. Stop me. Let me go on loving. guys got to hear this song. It's one of the greatest classic rock songs written in the whole 1970s, maybe 80s. I would love a refill on this tea if possible. Shirley, can you hand this over the table? Or here. Anyway.
Can I email this to someone from Hillel?
Sure.
But I also am the general secretary.
Who is that? Carol? By the way, there's someone named Masila, Carol, Hani, Carol, and Del One that we'd appreciate if your cameras were on, because you guys are kind of generating this class for me. And hi, Adam Wax on Facebook, Michael Kessler, Gwen. Thanks for joining us. Kyle, obviously, you've been there every day, and Shakoya. And nice to meet you, Sophia, also. So here's my son listening to this story, and the Martians say, how do we get the earth to just let us take over and teach how to transform their lives so that they could get back together, so that the people could get together. So they took this family to interview them. Now really they only needed the mother and the father, but they didn't want them to miss each other, so they put them in isolation and brought them to the planet all together. And plus they wanted to interview the kids as well a little bit, because you're also going to have to get the youth on board. And anyway, but then they suddenly said, well, there is another idea. And what's that idea? And they said, well, we could send a virus. We could send a virus. What if we send a virus and just had like life as we know it just disappear until like all that's left is just core. Meaning, first of all, it's going to have everyone ask themselves the question, like, what's meaningful? Because people have made. Thank you very much. People have made. By the way, this is vitamin C tea. I'm just going to recommend this to everybody. You get powdered vitamin C, and you do it in the thousands of milligrams, not those little pills that are like, those horse pills with the 500s. It's very citrusy. It's quite delicious if you like citrusy. It's too citrusy, to tell you the truth, but then you put in other things. What's in here? Honey. I got honey in here, Ceylon, which is date honey. And my whole family's just drinking this all the time. We're all like boosted with vitamin C powder. All the time. In our own little capsule of our home. Now, come on, Russell, you want to say hi. Just say hi. Come on. You have to have something you want to say to everybody. My lovely daughter is like so close to saying hi. Just say hi.
Hi.
Say hi with your face. Come on. You can make one of your funniest faces.
No.
Okay, back to my kids aren't used to me, because I live feed every day, but I live feed from Asia Torah in the Old City, and obviously this week I'm live feeding from here. And repeating once again that I'm shooting up 2 hours. And we're going to be going on live from now on 2 hours later. Now, we could send a virus, and then that virus would just be like, we'll make a virus that'll make medical experts wonder, We'll send a virus that like, what's that?
A love virus.
A love virus that just causes parents to no longer be able to, parents can no longer, oh gosh, we had the word yesterday, what is it called when you outsource? Yeah, outsourcing their parenting to teachers. Like you actually have to do your own parenting this week. You're going to parent your own children. Families, there are families together right now that haven't been together in 15 years. Normally it takes a funeral to get the families together, but families are like together now. And even my niece who moved to Israel, Baruch Hashem, and she lives in Tel Aviv, is now like in my kitchen right now and has been at our house for a while. And please God will continue. And we're just all together now, and we're helping each other out, and we're taking care of each other. And for the first time maybe in a long time. And it's and we're all having to like look at our. Can you raise this a tiny bit so it's above the screen, above the other screen? You can see how much it's above the screen. Look at it. See that line?
Yeah. You have to unscrew.
Well, no,
Just a teeny bit.
just
Oh, never mind.
I think.
Yeah, Chai, you want to say something? Okay.
No, I don't have corona. I know I don't have corona, but they literally fried my brain while I was in the hospital and I was trying to put this together. Give me a minute.
Okay, put it together. Sorry they fried your brain
I'll
while you're
go
in the
back
hospital.
on mute and you can continue. Sorry, it's not.
Hi, you're cool. You're cool. You can mute your phone in the meantime. Okay, yeah. So, I'm sorry whatever happened over there, and may your brain feel much better soon. It's making all of us have to ask what's real. I imagine a lot of people listen. I'm probably preaching to the choir right now because anyone who watches me probably feels the same way, which is the sad thing about what we tune into is we tune into like-minded things. But, I was just actually listening to Jordan Peterson yesterday, and he was talking about business, how young business entrepreneurs often hire people just like them. Bad idea. You don't want to do that. Okay, I've always had people working for me who are literally like filling my gaps. You don't want to be having like-minded people working with you. When it comes to your own personal business and companies and whatever enterprise you're into. You want people complimenting you, not like you. You might want to think about that in marriage as well. Anyway, what came to my mind just now also is to be part of the solution rather than the problem, and not to be the guy. I know a lot of people who have all kinds of complaints about love, like where's the love? So I've got the answer, by the way. Here's the love. Stop asking where's the love. Just say here's the love. Those of you who've like kind of part of your character, it's like, and without going into depth of that, but part of your character is developed from this complaint about things and people and hurt you've had and stuff, and it's almost like it's kind of, I like to call it your dirty diaper, because if you ever had a 3-year-old who was potty training resistant, so they actually go to the bathroom in their diaper and then they, oh hi, I think you did it again. We're back to highest full screen. Don't worry, hi, I should be able to get rid of that. Maybe not. No, I can't get rid of that. You have to get rid of that. Hi, fix that, please. Again. Oh, thank you. So, and again, Carol, Hani, and Carol Rod. Oh, there's 2 Carol Rods. Please turn on your cameras. Now, I call it our dirty diaper syndrome. Is that when you catch your 3-year-old who didn't get potty trained, what happens is now that they made in their diaper, they have to go hide because they're busted, because they've got, too much mental ability now to be doing that. And so now they got to go hide, which means you got to go sniff around your house to find them. Where are they? And then you find them under, some cabinet or under the table, or they're somewhere. And then when you find them, then they run. So now you're like chasing them. You just want to help them. All you're trying to do is change their dirty diaper. But, so we all love our dirty diaper. And one of the dirty diapers that people love is the complaints of their hurts throughout life. And so what happens is they wind up not sharing love because I'm not sharing love after what I've been through. I'm not sharing love. And that's understandable, and obviously I could go very in depth on that. I'm not going to right now, just because it would take us a while, and we only have an hour in this session. My watch disappeared, but someone borrow my watch. I'm supposed to be keeping track of time here. Anyone know what time it is, by the way?
I know.
Yeah, why don't you tell me?
3:54.
3:54. Whoa, that doesn't give us a lot of time. So, anyway, instead of saying where's the love, you say here's the love. Here's the love. And And I'm gonna fight hate with love. Yeah, and whatever disasters that have happened in my life that left me hurt, I'm not going to inflict them on others. Yeah, that was the very first thing. The great Rabbi Hillel, when a Gentile came up to Hillel and said, "Teach me the whole Torah on one foot," he said, "Don't do unto others what is hurtful to you." And as you all know, hurt people hurt people. There's something weird about people, but they feel like they have to hurt others. And usually just in the ways they were hurt, people like to hurt others. And it's some weird way we like to get back at people. And it's not even getting back at the people who wronged us. It's just getting back at the world. It's just not. It's not a very realized place to be. It's a very unhealthy and immature place to be. And once you know something's hurtful, you never ever hurt anyone there. You know what it's like, and that's what he was saying. He was saying to the Gentile, he was saying like, you want to get anywhere in spirituality, start by not being abusive. What's the definition of abusive? Because I could be doing something abusive and I don't know it because I've never felt it, and someone comes up to me and says, "You know, that really hurt," and then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for telling me. I've never experienced that from someone else before." So it's good you're telling me. I wouldn't have known. But when you would have known and you do it to someone else, that's abuse. That's willful abuse. And so we never do unto another person what is hurtful to us. That's step one. But step two is figure out how much of your character, meaning how much has your actual character become addicted to the holding back of love. Because, you don't deserve it. You have to earn it. And also, how many of us are walking around like little kids, meaning little kids are super fragile, and obviously whenever we were hurt as kids, when I say little kids, when we were 4, or we were 6, or we were 8, we got embarrassed or maybe humiliated, or someone really wronged us, and it was maybe public and embarrassing, humiliating. Now we're walking around as adults who are fully capable adults who are we're not these extremely fragile people at this point, yet we interact with the world, meaning we are so stingy with our hearts and our love, as if we're still that little kid that could be sent into a tailspin with the slightest look. And so we're not putting our hearts out. We're being so protective, being so careful not to be hurt. Yeah, I want to close with just a couple thoughts on just going back to the discussion of the love bomb that the virus is, and that is that well, not on the. I should really be talking about the love bomb part, but what I wanted to say first is that in general, it's our job to not be judgmental of people who have crossed their identities with things that aren't them. For example, sports, money, politics, fashion, Hollywood, meaning entertainment, but so many people, their identities have become spliced with foreign things that are not them. Well, you can't go to a concert now, and you can't go to a sporting event now, and you can't go to the club now, and you can't go to it's all been taken away. And the politicians are they're like buffoons. They don't even know what they're doing anymore. Everything we thought was real, everything we thought was solid is no longer that way. But so what do you want to do? Just go into a panic and be full identity crisis, help, where's the Xanax? How can I mask this with more internet use or something? No, this is your chance to get real. don't make it like, oh, those kind of characters. They're the ones into like finding the truth of life and like what life's all about. Like, oh,
Hold on. No, I know what you're trying to say. Just give me a minute. I literally just got out of the hospital. I have like vocal fry and everything, and my family thinks that I'm nuts. Just give me a minute so I can piece it all together for you so you can understand what I'm talking about.
Go for it. Okay, you piece it together. You know what? You send it in a text to me. Okay? You're going to email me or something. I'm going to send you my email, by the way. So, listen. It's not for hippies to talk about what's the meaning of life. Things are very simple. There's oneness. There's oneness that somehow has created multiplicity. Or I should say there's oneness that's created multiplicity. And that oneness created the multiplicity out of itself. And so therefore all of this in the physical world is of the oneness. It has to be automatically. Okay? We all came from oneness. The oneness somehow created a multiplicitous environment. We exist inside of it, but what we have that's one is this consciousness of all of us. That's the oneness, because that's being lent to us by the oneness. It's being lent to us by that oneness. And so here we are, all these entities in the physical world, yet we all have this consciousness that is cross-linked between all of us. And it is from that consciousness that love is possible and giving is possible. And I don't just mean love like, oh, I love you, but the kind of love that you give and you take care of, like Mustafa's neighborhood there, and where our differences are no longer meaningful, but what is important is what's in common with all of us. And this virus, though it's dangerous and people will lose their lives, and you want to know something, we're all going to lose our lives. Which means all of us, knowing what's real isn't for hippies, because you're going to, even if you're a sports fanatic and your whole life is sports, well, that's also going to be taken from you one day. God pulls the carpet out from under everyone's feet at the end of their lives. It's just that he's giving the whole planet a chance to do this together. That we're all simultaneously having to reckon with what's real. And it's not that foreign, it's not that far. It's just a very simple recognition of the oneness that we are and that we're part of, and to treat each other accordingly based on that oneness. Okay, I'm signing off for today. Blessings to everybody. Tomorrow I'll be on again at 3 o'clock Israel Standard Time. That'll be moving to that'll be my final one, at least for the Aish.com Zoom. But that'll be moving to 5 o'clock on Sunday through the rest of next week. So we'll see y'all tomorrow. I am reachable. You can always email me at, hi, you ready for my email? I'm always reachable at yomtovglazer@gmail.com. Yom Tov Glazer Gmail. I also have an Aish email at yglazer@aish.com. And you can always WhatsApp me your questions. My WhatsApp is +972 52 834 4664. Again, +972 52 834 4664. If you have an important question I didn't answer you quickly, then just be persistent. Just keep throwing it back to the top, because every hour there's another 30 messages, and some of them are pretty darn important. And so I might go to one of them, and then the next hour yours is under 60. So just throw it back on top with an arrow pointing upward, and I'll look at it, and please God be able to answer it. And I'm here for y'all, and I'm doing this from the bottom of my heart. I'm also in isolation. If you call it, I think one of the blessings of having as many kids as I do is isolation ain't so bad. Got all these little sweeties everywhere, and just the cutest kids ever, and we're a great team. But I'm with you guys, and stay, keep the rules. Stay away. It's going to be a while, but let's do this. We're going to get through this together. Shalom, everyone. Shalom. If you enjoyed watching this, well, watch some more, send it, click it, forward it, join it, subscribe to it. You know, keep coming on and joining me in this amazing movement to make a big difference in the world. And the biggest thing you can do of all is to join the YomTovMediaClub.com. Please go online, YomTovMediaClub.com.